Welcome, everybody, to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah.
So, welcome, Journeymen Lounge podcast. We are taking a second try at this because some technical difficulties. So, you're back here with the original trio. You got Woj, you got
Ryan.
Bobby.
Rounding it out here. So, as Bobby mentioned in the first take, we are doing episode 52. We've been doing it for a year of time. I'm pleasantly surprised with the outcome. I'm
happy with it.
I think everybody's fucking down to clown, which is the best part of it. Everybody, we got other guys coming on. Ken will definitely get on. He expressed interest in coming on. He just couldn't work out with whatever.
And we gotta get
conflict.
Josh back on eventually too.
Yeah. We'll get definitely some more guests
Especially
on here.
with
But
playoffs coming
again,
up.
I'm just pleasantly surprised with how things have gone here. So I'm going to have Ryan kick it off, though, because we're going to start with the non-football items first, which is our round of golf that we played yesterday. I just want to mention up top that the foursome that we went on with, it was me, Kyle, Dan Nelson, and the League of Assholes. Solid group. Like, everybody was fucking ready to go and like to joke around, bust balls. It's kind of how...
that's how golfing should be.
How a golf round should be. So, Ryan, let's have you tell us how it went.
So, got a free round from my uncle.
Shout out.
Uncle Brian, thank you. He's my dad's brother. He got a church auction or charity thing. Somehow he acquired these tickets in that capacity. He doesn't golf anymore, and he knew that I did, so he came by my work, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like, here's a free round to Old Orchard Country Club for a foursome in a cart. Hell yeah. So
hell yeah.
We just had to get a date and a group together. Thankfully, it came together. It looked like it might not this week, but it ended up working out where we were, Kyle had off Wednesday finally, and then we needed a fourth, and Dan was able to make it. So.
Well, did you catch what Dan said? Because he was like technically kind of working, but he was like,
"Oh right, he did bring his laptop to the course."
He was like, honestly, he was like, if you didn't mention that it was free, I probably wasn't making it.
That's okay, I understand, but a free round is a
pretty
free
funny.
round, right?
No, it's pretty funny.
And we had offered it to Bobby, but he was busy with working and things.
Yeah, I got just quarter end, and I got an upcoming business trip that I'm going to be in Santa Clara all of next week. So
which Ryan and I have been kicking around some ideas of what to do in your absence, so I like it.
So
I like the fact that you're gone, but the
it's
fact
okay.
that we're kicking
Freudian
around
slip.
ideas.
Yeah. So we played yesterday at 1:15.
Old Orchard. Yeah.
Old Orchard, which is in Mount Prospect. This is our second time playing.
Gorgeous fucking day.
This year we had the three of us and Woj's friend Samong had played there about a month ago.
Friend of the pod.
We played there again. It was a really good time. I think my best.
Tell me about your front
9 holes of golf I've ever had. Too bad. I noticed I said 9, not 18.
Yeah, but tell me, what did you shoot on the front 9?
I didn't actually add the score. Now, my brother said I shot a 41. He says I shot less than that.
In my calculation, which, very, very quick disclaimer, I'm terrible at math. Very honestly.
But you're basically near 40. Or
when I was calculating Ryan's, I had him at a 31 going into 9. I think it was a par
wrong.
5, which is a...
31 is -1 through 8.
No, it's not.
For most courses, 32, 32.
But so Old Orchard is got to be
Or
a
35,
30. It should be a
34.
35 to be a 70. And Ryan, I would
You're
say
saying at
on his
31 and
front
8.
his front 9, I will tell you, he had a birdie for sure.
Chirps. Give me it.
Right? You had a birdie on the front.
I thought it was just pars.
Okay, maybe just a par.
I was like, I don't want to give you a fake high five. Yeah, I don't remember doing the
Okay,
chirp
rescind
thing.
that. So instead of the birdie, then maybe what I'm just remembering though is
I had
that
a couple pars.
you
a
had
few
at least 6 pars.
or more. I
That's
don't
at least
incredible.
6. And the bogeys, he did not double bogey, I believe. So, either way, let's just say that he was probably, in my mind, if Kyle has you at a 41, I'm going to put you at a 39, 38.
Yeah.
Which is still good. You're plus 1 or 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But Ryan also, see, this is why you don't know, though, because Ryan at the turn goes, I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
I don't want to know.
Okay, that's fair, but why is he so far off with the score? Why are you taking...
I'm just saying I calculated what I thought. Now, granted, we consumed some beverages at the course. So I don't know if necessarily the 4 turned into a 3.
But dude,
I didn't look
6
at
pars though. Incredible.
I got to look at the card. I don't know.
I will say with a matter of fact, he definitely got at least 6 pars though on the front. And I was, Ryan, no offense, man, but I was very much astonished of the saves and the way in which you got the pars, because they weren't my mind
pars.
But I'm saying it's not necessarily not clean, but it wasn't the same type of thing where he literally just had long drive to the middle of the fairway, chip on, misses 1 putt, taps in for a par. It normally was like great 1 shot here, fantastic coupled. Like I remember he was on the other fairway for 1. He smoked like a fucking 6 probably. Fucking all the way onto the green, like perfect shot. Like maybe just off, but then like just tapped in. Like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of saved shots.
Yeah, I had one. It was a par 3. I hooked it left with the iron. It was like a kind of a
couple luck shots in there.
180 or something. I don't know, whatever it was.
I know which one we're talking about.
Yeah, it was like the apartments on the left, and the street behind it, and I was going right for the apartments, but it hit a tree and kicked onto the into the sand. And then I pinched it over through the out of the sand a little far into the next rough, but then I
into the fringe,
like the fringe.
Okay.
And I Texas chippered it into the cup right from there.
There you go.
I mean, dude, this was also way downhill like this.
Oh yeah, so it was a slope and a reed and
just kind of go like this. So like again, I would say Ryan on the front 9 definitely had a lot of great save shots, but again, also some normal pars, like I described.
I'm gonna just interject real quick. My brother is key at doing the. Danny does not have a drive, but if you need him for a second shot, and he's got some power behind it because he uses his 3-wood like exclusively.
Yeah,
he drove with his 3-wood when we had the
right. And he's a very frustrating
golf
person
weekend.
to like look at, like what his like mechanics when you're playing golf. But he's one of those guys. You're off in the woods, he'll be on the green on the next shot. He always finds a way. And just a quick note. He's going to be having his 2nd kid by the time this thing gets posted on Saturday.
Oh, hell yeah,
nice.
dude.
Congrats.
So I'm very excited about that.
Dope.
Everyone say a prayer. I hope everything goes smoothly for Mac and new baby.
For
hell
sure.
Yeah.
So, no, that's cool. But yeah, with the golf, I was playing real well. It was fun. And then the back 9, I kind of had a little bit of a meltdown, but I didn't play as well. I didn't do as bad as I've done before. Like my worst hole was like I got 2 8s, a couple 7s.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that is a bad.
Well, it started off. Okay, let me tell you, it's that first hole, that hole 10, where you have to hit it either
over that tree
before the water or try and yoke it over the water, which is like 260 or something.
No, I played it smart. I remember that hole. I popped out a 3-iron right out there, but you can't be right because then you have to.
I did not.
Yeah, and I played
then
it.
You have that big tree, so you have to stay left.
I actually played it safe this time. I hit an iron, but then I chunked it into the water my second shot. Yeah, and then the next hole, I hit a shot. I hit it actually over the trees toward the hole. It looked good, but we couldn't find the ball.
That was really the story of Ryan's back 9, is that we just could not find a ball, even though there's no hazards.
There's no water.
There's no sand.
There's no woods.
It just was simply there's a lot of leaves on the ground at this time, and we were looking.
It's a little frustrating. So
I could tell Ryan's frustration started to kind of keep coming up because
I had to just like guess where it is and drop it. Anyway, I dropped it in a place, and there was like sand semi in front. I hit it short, hit it in the sand. It took me 3 times to get out of the sand. I was just like one of those fucking holes, and then it just kind of just escalated from that point, I guess.
That bothers me when you have a good shot and you can't find your ball. That happens to Old Orchard. Shit, we were there a month ago and we were having a hard time finding it.
It happened at least on the back 9, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I could definitely. I was even frustrated for him because I was like, God damn.
First of all, I didn't have as many balls I'd like to, but I had some. I didn't have nothing, but and I lost the ones that I liked using. So I had using these crappy other ones or colored ones I had, like orange and pink and shit.
Yeah, Ryan had some balls from like 19.
And then like say with the lead, my dad old ones. I don't know.
He like hit one time. He's like, "Yeah, that sounded weird." I'm not
it was like a
again.
dead ball.
Dude, next time I'm at Costco, I'll get you guys like a pack of Kirklands.
Hell yeah,
cheap.
man!
I ride Callaway. I just found out TaylorMade is actually pretty good. I like that shit.
Usually I get Wilson's, either the Nitro, but lately the last one I got, which was I was golfing better with, these Wilson Boost Boost or something.
Yeah,
They're like 10, like around like 10, 11 bucks.
Sponsor us.
After I lost that
Right.
after I lost that last one though, it was kind of just like the evening.
Disheartening, yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up, I don't know, whatever. Like I must have got like a 56 on the back or something. It was bad. Some 50 something. So that was really frustrating. I ended up with a 97 total.
Okay.
So it's still a
Good
good
front
round,
nine, bad
but I
back
could have
nine.
been like in like an 85 or something.
This is where I'm saying that
you
course
know?
management, mitigate your losses. So even if you go in the sand, all right, I need to focus and just
Yeah.
get it out of the sand.
I really need to work on
Ryan,
my sand game. Just I'm not confident in it, and it's like, you know what? To my defense, you can't really practice the sand shots that I know of anywhere. Like if you go to the driving range,
Poplar Creek.
Some places do, but I would
Okay.
honestly, I would
You know-
just tell you though that the
Even
problem
Schaumburg.
with trying to practice sand shots in a Midwest type of climate though is really in the fact that the sand at these clubs that we play at these golf courses, they're all over the place. Some are absolutely fucking
Concrete,
trash.
and some
I've
of
seen
them are
some that are
flour.
great. I've seen some that are like, hey, there's a giant fucking lake in the middle of
Right,
this one
right.
because
That
it just
drainage
like
is-
so
yeah.
it's always a tough thing to like figure out like, oh, I'm gonna hit this shot. It's like it's never always the
Like,
exact same sand shot.
I feel like I noticed for me, it's like, you know, the shots that I've been able to practice my whole life, like going to the driving range, using the driver, using the irons, putting with mini golf, like all these
Right.
things I've been able to do and work on, have a better feel for. But the sand is like,
It's a different monster.
Sometimes I'm really good, and sometimes I'm just horrendous, where I just
Right.
can't get it in, and I'm like hitting it over to the next sand and the next.
I've never had
one,
that problem.
and,
Can't getting it in.
and then you just get so irritated, you know. It's like I feel like, you know, if I can get on the green, I'm good. It's just like I said, those sand shots or those kind of short ones in between. Although yesterday, again, I was doing actually better with the Texas chipper. I was having some luck with that, but I would like to work on that part of my game, I think, and then I'd be pretty damn good, I think, you know, or a lot better at least.
I got you. Yeah, I would just say in terms of like my game, I was playing pretty good at times, pretty bad at times, like I normally do. I shot at 84 somehow, which was
That's not a bad day,
Which was-
especially there.
pretty. I mean, again, I was surprised at it because I definitely had a couple doubles on the front, but you know, the nice thing that again, Bobby, you've given me some praise on before is the mid-range like chip shots, kind of like just to get the ball, like maybe like you're 5 yards off the green
Oh yeah,
and like put it close. Hit another couple of those where I was like, it's within like a foot and a half. And I
right.
was
So
like,
tap in. I
I
love
was
that
like,
feeling.
thank you, Jesus. But yeah, overall, the game is always gonna be. Again, Ryan, in yours, it's the highest of the highs, lowest of the lows.
Well, I mean, I've said before, like, I'm just inconsistent. I can be really good, and if I'm on, or sometimes I just fuck up a few in a row, and then just, you know, you get a couple sevens, and then just like your score just goes up, and but that's what I said. Like what you said about your brother, how he makes him a good.
Right.
I'm a great like team. If we're doing,
You'd
team
be a great
golf,
scramble
partner.
right?
for
Because like
sure.
I have some great fucking shots, but
You have a good drive.
But if I fuck up one, we don't have to use it. You know, like, you know, those short ones or the sand ones, we don't have to worry about me doing it, you know? So like I said, like,
Right. So, you know, honestly, you know, as we're wrapping up golf here, I do not really anticipate with Bobby going out in the next couple weeks here. I know I have a round scheduled for the end of September, excuse me. So I don't know if we'll get another annual outing for the Journeymen, but there might be just like golf experiences like this that we'll just kind of chat
we have
about.
a few
and see.
challenges in the mix too that we will explore eventually.
I think we're gonna definitely have those done next year when we just think.
I was talking about the Larry Bird challenge, right? You know,
Oh no! Oh, I thought you were talking
I
about.
go-
golf
I
challenge.
thought I knew
maybe
you were talking about-
13 for 15. I think that's about right.
I mean, we can definitely figure that shit out though. So yeah, we'll kind of switch gears
Every shot
there.
of basketball in over a year, and I'll take you down. Let's go.
Ooh, gauntlet
Oh, I
throwing
cannot
down,
wait to
bitch.
get in your head.
All right, so let's switch it up here. Let's go into the normal kind of see right now of. All right, calm it down over there. All right, let's go with Bobby's bets, Woj's wagers, real quick,
Yep.
and then we'll get to fantasy for the week.
For mine, Bobby's bets, I got any quarters Thursday night football to end scoreless. So you know if they don't score in the second quarter, great, I get paid. And then I have Breece Hall and Ramondre Stevenson touchdown scorer, and I went with the spread for New England. So as long as they lose by 6 or less, I'm good with that.
Okay. I have a quick 5-legger going on. Rogers for 200. Lazard, 35 yards. Brees Hall with
50
switches. Brees Hall, 20 yards receiving. Garrett Wilson, 50 yards receiving. Ramondre Stevenson, 35 yards rushing. Safe bet. Just real quick there, and let's kind of move it on. I'd like to just kind of keep this shit going here. So let's get into fantasy. Bobby, tell me how your fantasy league went last week.
I am 2-0, 1-1, and I think 1-1 there too. I was 1 for 2 last week, and a lot of that stemmed from
Which league are we focusing on?
We're going to focus on the family
Right.
league. I'm 2-0 in the family
Okay.
league. I'm not suffering any major catastrophic losses
Nice.
like some people are. So maybe that's the game right now is keeping your team somewhat healthier. No, they're not dropping to IR or doubtful. But in some of my other leagues, I've been plagued with that. So, fantasy's doing great. I got Brees Hall for this game. So, we'll see how he does.
Okay. Ryan, what you got?
I went 2-1 again last week, but I lost the important league, the big league, unfortunately. I already knew it. On 2 going into the weekend, I was probably not going to win because Tyreek Hill got me 5 points on Thursday.
Yeah, that was rough.
Well, after that, Kenneth Walker got doubtful. So basically, he was out for Sunday, and my running backs after him are thin. So I had to start Gus Edwards. He got 18 carries, but he only got like 60 yards. So it didn't really do much for me. And the rest of the team just didn't really. Lamar Jackson had like 16 is not that much. Mike Evans only had 5. Pickens had 3. Laporta had 2. So just like all my skill players. I mean, outside of Singletary, who got like 14 somehow, didn't really do much. So I only put up like 72 points.
Those weeks happen.
Yeah, it's just like unfortunate. Kenneth Walker again is questionable. I don't feel like he's going to play.
I never thought he was a great pickup. Seattle is such a weird team. I guess,
he's great. He's just injury shit. I guess I should have picked his handcuff in Charbonnet, but
I've had a few Chardonnays.
What of it?
I don't know. I don't really like always doing that, but in this case, I should have. I guess I don't know. Hopefully, he comes back and then my team will be rolling again because I had the second highest score week 1, so it's like got potential there. It's just the guys have to play.
Yep. I lost to Blake in 3.
Blake, shout out. Yeah.
You know what, man? He was talking a little trash to me, so it was cool. We were going over some shit. He did offer me, which I don't know if I told you guys, but he was offering me to not play Travis Kelce in his tight end spot if I could make a dunk from the Hoover parking lot.
Oh, how'd that
basketball.
go?
I did not do it. Okay,
no.
it was in general. It was just like a time constraint, where like I didn't have time to just fucking run over to Hoover.
And you can't dunk on a 9-foot rim.
And I can. And I can and
Clearly
I will,
can't.
but I'm just saying, though, is that he gave me the proposition on, like, Thursday after we wrapped filming, and then he was like, okay, bye, Sunday at 11. I was like, I just didn't have the time to fucking go and do it. Also, I haven't done really anything fucking super, like, basketball physicality. I'm not trying to, fucking pull something and go down.
That's
and
what
go,
I said. Yeah.
hey, this is going to be an issue here. But I like the gist of it. Blake fucking, his team played well last week. Tyreek Hill really just not having a quarterback to throw to him really kind of fucked me. And everybody else kind of played as they, Kate Otten got minus or 0.4 fucking points. So I don't know how the fuck that even happens for a tight end.
Why are you playing Kate Otten?
Because David Njoku went down.
Why didn't they Why didn't they target Likely in game 2? It's like the Mark Andrews show because he didn't show up in game 1.
I know.
All right, whatever.
But yeah, he just had guys that played well. Chris Godwin had a good game. Tyron Williams.
Yeah, the guys
Debo,
go off. That happens.
Debo Samuel. So again, I'm not super salty on it. It just was a thing that unfortunately happened there. But again, fantasy is an up and down in life. Let's switch. If you guys don't have any other fantasy related items, I also do. Sorry, I want to mention here.
I got one thing that's fantasy related.
But for the podcast though, we were trying to get Ken on. Ken will be on one of the guys in our League of Assholes. He just, again, conflict with whatever, but I vow to get Ken on, and we'll chop it up on that, because it's always nice to have another perspective in the league, because like Ryan and I are in a couple different ones. Again, until Bobby makes his way into Three Penis Wine, we won't have that full three-pronged kind of perspective there. But what do you got, Bobby?
I have two teams I just want to discuss, kind of shot out of the cannon: Minnesota Vikings and New Orleans. Flash in a pan, or do they have some real substance going?
Minnesota will fall. Don't get me wrong. Aaron Jones, unfortunately, is made of glass, and he will somehow get hurt, or they won't be doing well. Sam Darnold will get hurt, something like that. Justin Jefferson already got hurt. And then New Orleans, I think they're absolutely flash in the pan. They will come down to earth. They won't be scoring 40 points a game, and they'll do all right, though. NFC South is weak, so I think New Orleans still makes it out, though, eventually. Minnesota, actually, because the Bears season is such an influx right now, Minnesota might squeak their way in the playoffs if Green Bay kind of falters and Bears
Malik
falter.
had a day. I was very excited about that, but we don't want
But
to talk
Ryan,
about that. Yeah,
no, Ryan. We'll save it for the state of Bears, state of the Packers. But Ryan, what do you got?
I mean, I got to plead the fifth on this one, honestly. I haven't been able to watch much football. Every time football's on, I'm working. Like, I don't have cable.
But you saw New Orleans blew out.
I saw the score, but I can't say like I saw the plays. Like, I know Kamara.
You weren't investigating.
I know Kamara had a good game, and then Derek Carr's been playing better.
Derek Carr did the Michael Jackson.
From what I read, they have a new coordinator, offensive coordinator. Maybe that's part of it. Hard to say. I mean, we'll see this week. They play Philly. Now, Philly just lost to Atlanta, so that was kind of weird. So I really don't know.
I mean, if I'm being honest, because I watched the game, Philly lost to Atlanta because their defense was utterly confused that Kirk Cousins could throw the ball, which he absolutely can. And they just went.
I like Cousins.
I'm just saying they went into a weird defense where they just were given everything. Kirk Cousins, boom. 4 passes made it 80 yards. Like, it just was like an odd defense to call when you're like, they're trying to get out of bounds as quickly as possible. They don't want to waste a whole lot of time. They're not throwing over the middle, and they just let fucking out routes be caught out of bounds. Okay. And then Drake London scores a touchdown. But, sorry, going back to your...
And I haven't seen much of Minnesota. I know that Darnold's been doing decent, like, holding the ship or whatever, But I don't know. Like, I think he can maybe surprise some people. Like, he was the number 3 pick in the draft when he came out. And, when you're on the Jets and you're on the Panthers, those are two really pretty bad organizations, especially with quarterbacks last, since he's been there. So maybe
it's a prove it year.
He's finally got a legitimate number 1 receiver in Jefferson. He's got a good offensive game coach and his head coach and coordinator. So if he's ever going to do it, now's the time or whatever.
Okay. Is Jefferson? Well, how long is he out?
I don't know, man. He got that 97-yard bomb, and then
he said he was going to play.
No, I'm just saying, though, is that he is injured in some capacity from that.
Right,
I'm sure. I don't know. Like, again, until he suits up on Sunday, we'll see. But
he had a quote. I think it said like, "I'm playing," or like,
right. That's what they say always, because they want to play. But Bobby, what do you got on Minnesota and New Orleans?
I think New Orleans with Carr, everyone looks loose now. When a team, they obviously beat the Cowboys, which Woj has huge. He brought this point up, but it's a huge point that I totally dismiss because I'm a Packer fan. Is how often are the Cowboys in the playoffs? Quite often. Do they ever do anything once they're there? No.
Okay, but again,
they're a competitor.
The impetus, though, of that conversation, though, was that you said that Jerry Jones was a bad owner. I vehemently disagree against that.
I said when he got rid of Jimmy Johnson. I didn't like that.
But I'm just saying, though, is that you can't just push to the side that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, it is a shock to the nation if they miss out on the playoffs, because they are not only, one, they have a good talent, they have a good team all the fucking time, at least in my recent memory of the last 30 years, 32 years of life. The other part is that they rarely fucking miss the playoffs because their division, albeit at times, can be very weak. And I think everybody remembers, Ryan, you'll probably fucking know the year. What was the year that the 3 teams made the playoffs because fucking...
Wild card or whatever?
It was like 2018 maybe or 17.
They are 3-6 in the playoffs the past.
But I'm just
10 years,
saying,
though.
there was one year where all 3 of the NFC East made it, and like the again, it just was simply like
how the records worked out. Yeah,
their teams can be great, their teams can be shit. But I'm just saying, year over year, Cowboys are fucking in the hunt for the playoffs. You can't deny that. You can't go, it's
that's
not
and you know what, that had like a sharp realization for me. But back to New Orleans and Minnesota. Minnesota, I think, has more holes in it. I'm excited for how they played against San Fran. I don't think any of us saw that happening.
Brock Purdy's fake.
I wouldn't say that. I think he had an off day.
Actually, I take that back. I actually absolutely take that back. He's playing like how a fucking 7th-round pick quarterback is playing.
I think, like I said, he had an off day. They have no sync. They need CMC healthy, but that's not happening anytime soon. But I think New Orleans.
Sorry, we got to just mention that real quick because Adam has been blowing up my phone about.
Oh, is he?
CMC and the fact that he was never going to play week 1, yet San Fran led everybody on to.
They're going to get in trouble with that.
Okay. I mean, they might get fined by the NFL, but what's $100,000 to $1 billion franchise?
Yeah, I know,
Should have
right?
drafted Jordan Mason.
Mason's, I know.
Yeah, I'm
Mason's
sure Adam
been
will
doing
fucking
well,
love that.
Well, he was in
shit.
the free agency too. Kyle picked him up. I mean,
No, I understand it, but Adam more is focusing on the fact that you don't tell me that the guy is not going to play week 1 until Sunday.
Because he was, the first pick?
But this is what I'm saying is that 30 minutes before the game, they have to release inactives for the game. Now you're bringing it up. No other mention. Like, yes, there was mention that he had a calf injury, but in the preseason, it just always happens. Hey, this guy's dealing with cramps. This guy's dealing with a tight hamstring, whatever.
I mean, I'd say Christian McCaffrey's an injury history, and you should play on the safe side and get his backup. But again,
right, you should handcuff.
Like I don't like doing that, but in that situation where going into the year that he's been hurt and they're resting him and he has a history of problems and he's 30 years old, which is getting up there in running back age.
Yep.
It might be prudent to
Look at this
and
fucking
He's a thesaurus, I guarantee.
Especially when Elijah Mitchell, the other handcuff, got hurt, so now this guy's the only handcuff, Jordan Mason.
Yeah, but again, as I mentioned last week,
for your last pick of the draft,
Ryan is a goddamn savant when it comes to fucking football. He's throwing out good these words that this is very prudent for you to.
I like it.
The juxtaposition of the.
Pay attention to the podcast. Ryan knows his shit.
I know, dude. He's always up there. Year
I'll
after
say
year.
this though about New Orleans. I think New Orleans has. Oh, sorry about that. I was just watching Wilson skip.
Okay,
around Sorry, no.
No. Can I be honest? What's your last point on New Orleans? Because
I think New Orleans. They seem to be hitting a stride. They look comfortable. They look like they're driving, which is a big thing of how you can remain consistent when things get rough. Okay. So I'm excited for what they can do.
They got a good coach, and I think his name is Dennis.
I'm excited for what
Dennis
they can
Allen
do because I think everyone wrote him off.
I think Dennis Allen though is really a solid coach, so that definitely helps him out. Let's switch over though to we're gonna do a quick 2 minutes on the fucking game tonight because we're watching Jets, fucking Patriots. I mean, in my mind, which I thought was gonna happen, I think that Aaron Rodgers is just gonna be able to feast on a decent Patriots defense. I think he's gonna throw for a couple hundred, and score. It's gonna be like 20. Let's say final prediction 34-14.
You think it's going to be that high score?
Well, I think because also the Jets defense are going to be able to pick off Brissett, maybe get a defensive touchdown or something like that. But this is just my take is I think Aaron Rodgers is getting a subpar defense, and he's still a good quarterback.
He's still a good quarterback.
Can't hate on the guy, but in terms of his talent, I can hate everything else about him. But
23-10 Jets.
I'm hoping it's a little bit closer, but we'll see. It seems like things are already pulling away.
Well, it's going to be.
Well, I was throwing it out for a little bit if you had analysis on it. Again, these are two teams that nobody really is going to have a lot. I have Hunter Henry going into tonight's game, but other than that.
My analysis is these two teams are not great teams. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is, a little older in the tooth, along the tooth or whatever. I don't know. Breece Hall's good, and if you have Breece Hall, that's a good game to watch. I have actually the backup running back, Braylon Allen. So
he's doing work. He's getting carries.
I know. He's already got 30 yards.
It's good to see. I just got him this week on the waiver claim.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. Patriots, I don't expect much. They just don't have much offensively. All their receivers are no-name guys or rookies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. All right, Bobby, you got to pick, though, because we're going to get into picks. No, you have to pick.
I think the Jets are going to win. I'm
There
just
you
hoping
go.
it's closer.
I'm just saying we went over this last
Sorry,
week. You got to
Jets?
give us an answer.
No, but Jets, I just hope
you
it's
almost
close.
picked a tie for Green
I just want to
Bay.
say too, maybe I should have played Braylon Allen, but I don't know because I hate playing Thursday night guys and especially backup running backs. But if Ken
How
Walker,
deep's your league?
if
that
Ken
you need to
Walker doesn't play,
Well, yeah, if he has to play because of Ken Walker not being there.
but I don't. But I have to leave it open for now. I have to leave that option.
I got you.
Living on a prayer. I
No,
like
it makes sense to not blow your load on Thursday night.
No, especially the number 2 guy when Brees Hall's the number 1 guy.
Right.
Brees Hall's young too.
All right, so let's go to the next one. New York Giants, Cleveland. I got Cleveland stopping them.
Cleveland.
Giants.
Jesus Christ,
I don't
Ryan.
know.
Terrible pick. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Tennessee, Green Bay. Tennessee's gonna
Green
roll.
Bay.
Tennessee's gonna roll.
Tennessee doesn't know what to do
Green
in the second
Bay.
half. Thank
Malik
you.
Willis doesn't know how to throw the fucking football, and he plays quarterback.
I'll go Green Bay,
Thank you. Love.
but I don't like it. But
but I don't like it. Chicago, Indianapolis, Chicago Bears.
I'm going to go Indy.
I'll go Bears because of the defense.
Indy just lost to Forrest Buckner up front.
Maybe finally the Bears offense can figure some shit out.
I'm gonna throw out a fucking.
but they don't have a fucking line.
I'm gonna throw out a Woj prediction here. I'm gonna go with fucking DeAndre Swift's gonna run for 100 yards. 100 yards. Shut your whore mouth. And 2 touchdowns overall against Indianapolis.
No shot.
Okay? That's the Woj bold prediction of the fucking week.
Yeah, that's not
You better
happening.
believe I'm putting a couple.
They have no line.
Yeah, but this is the thing is that you don't need it if DeForest Buckner's not out. He's not going to kill you up front.
No, hon, let him think
But
this.
DeAndre Swift does need it because he's not that type of runner. He needs the guys that create the lanes for him to run through and shit.
I mean, let's just say it's a bold prediction, okay?
Let's put it that bold,
see.
very bold.
We'll see what's going on.
I could maybe see 2 touchdowns, but like he'll have like 40 yards tops. Like I think I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to check it out on next week's podcast.
I'd
Tune
be
in.
excited though if you were right.
All right. I also have DeAndre Swift in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so.
no wonder shit. I bet you do.
All right, Houston, Minnesota, Houston.
Houston.
Yeah, I'll go Houston just because Jefferson's banged up. Like
Yep. Philadelphia, New Orleans, Philly bouncing back.
Nola.
I'll go Philly.
Okay. Los Angeles, Pittsburgh. I got the Chargers.
I got the Raiders.
You said wait, who is it?
Los Angeles, Pittsburgh, and Bobby picked the Raiders. Let
Wait,
that fucking be known.
The Chargers or the Rams?
I thought you said LV.
I said Los Angeles
I
Chargers.
thought you said Las Vegas. My bad.
No, Los Angeles Chargers and the Pittsburgh
Oh, I got
Steelers.
Chargers, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Chargers. Also, I like calling them San Diego still. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
San Diego.
Okay. I got the Chargers. Bobby's got the Chargers. You got the Chargers.
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 Denver, Tampa.
Tampa.
Bah.
Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa should smoke it.
We got Carolina, Las Vegas, and Las Vegas.
Vegas.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Although the Red Rifle's in the game now, maybe he'll do
Yeah,
something.
Dalton.
Dalton is fine. He's a serviceable quarterback, but you can't stop the fact that your defense in
I
Carolina.
gotta say, I love the balls on the coach. Just like, yeah, he's not working out. He's the number 1 pick. I don't give a shit. I didn't draft him. Like, we're going with Andy Dalton. Let's go.
I mean, dude, Andy Dalton gives you a better chance to win because Bryce Young, they said it. I saw a couple of different things. He's saying he can't fucking read the defense to like make a throw. He's not seeing the defenses. He's also not understanding the fact that your offensive line is not good in Carolina.
He's also 5'9" and like 100
I mean, that
pounds.
aside, the short stature or whatever, I'm just saying, though, in terms of like, dude, you have to understand that the ball has to come out, and this ain't fucking college. You cannot just run around and thinking, hey, I'm going to fucking still, get this fucking, first down here. I'm just going to run or have...
Was that all of them? We didn't get through all of them, did we?
No, I'm still going.
Oh,
We just took a quick detour at Carolina.
All right.
Miami, Seattle. I got Seattle.
Seattle, yeah,
Skylar
with
Thompson
Tua
is-
being out.
Who the fuck is
I
that
agree,
guy?
Seattle.
And
Are they in Seattle too?
Yeah, they're at
Okay,
Seattle.
then definitely Seattle. Yeah.
Baltimore, Dallas. I got Baltimore.
I'm going to go Dallas with a comeback after getting their asses spanked.
And Dallas is at home.
I'll go Dallas.
Okay, we got San Fran, Los Angeles. I got San Fran because Los Angeles has no wide receivers.
Yeah, San Fran for
San
sure.
Fran.
And then I got Detroit over Arizona.
That's going to be a good game.
I'm gonna go Arizona.
I'm going to go Detroit.
Upset
I think
alert.
Montgomery's going to have a day, but it'll be a close game.
Okay, Kansas City at Atlanta. KC.
Kansas City.
Okay.
KC, yeah.
Jacksonville, Buffalo on Monday night.
Buffalo.
I'm going to go Jacksonville. Washington, Cincinnati is the second Monday night game. Got Cincy.
Yeah, I'll go Cincy.
He was over the line. That's a tutty.
All right.
Cincy,
so,
sorry.
Yeah, there you go. We're trying to do a thing.
No,
here.
we're moving things.
All right. So, no, but that was the last pick. We'll.
I had a quick thought. What do we think about, real quick, the Kansas City running back situation fantasy-wise? Now that
Pacheco?
Pacheco's on the shelf for 2 months.
Oh, I didn't. He got injured. I was
fibula.
So now they have Carson Steele or Pirine, or they have Kareem Hunt on their practice squad they just signed, who used to be there, obviously, and had success. Or Clyde Edwards-Helaire is eligible to come back in like 2 weeks. The whole thing is murky to me, and I don't want any part of it.
So, one, don't try and be on the Kansas City running backs.
Unless you have Pacheco and you got to want to.
And now you have to do something. I
Right.
get that. If you're going to have to pick somebody, I go Carson Steele. I go, again, if you are dead set on like either getting him or you're trying to trade for him, the guy runs very much downhill. Very good style running back for touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to blaze it up with 100 yards a game, but he's going to get carries. Casey's going to be up.
Well, they got one. You're saying they have Pirine and Hunt at their disposal?
Well, technically, Hunt's only in the practice squad as of now.
Hunt's going to be elevated to game day.
But sometime he will.
Hunt will be elevated to game day.
You're right. They're not going to have an explosive back, but Pirine, at least he's serviceable.
Yep.
I think it's going to be like where you don't want any of them, like they did maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, where they had remember it was like Chark West and Damian Williams and so. It's like I think they're each just going to get like a couple downs here and there.
I get you, committee. And
I think if I was going to take somebody, I might just take the flyer on Hunt. Just maybe he fucking is a goal line guy at very least, and he's had success there in the past, but I wouldn't want any part of it.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah, you don't really want any part of Casey's running back, as good as the team is probably going to be.
Yeah.
But let's take a quick break. Let's fucking rehydrate. The Buffalo Dip will be fucking out. Ready to rock in the second segment here. We got a movie review coming up. We're keeping it in the football month or whatever.
Realm.
Yep.
There you go. Words are hard. So we got Any Given Sunday coming up. We'll fucking check it out here. Chill out. Do your thing. We'll be back 32 seconds from now. Peace. And we're back. The Journeymen Lounge podcast is bringing you another rave review of a classic gem, keeping in the football tradition. Whose pick was it this week?
This is mine.
Barbarino's
Sunday, 1999, $55 million budget, grossed just over $100 million, 75 U.S.
Who directed it?
That was Oliver Stone. With a good direction on this. A lot of different cinematography techniques used. We'll go into it, but I really enjoyed it as a football player. I think obviously there's a lot of inconsistencies, but a 2-hour, 40-minute movie. So you got to, get yourself ready. It's a longer film. I'll give you a quick synopsis. You have Al Pacino playing Tony D'Amato, who is the coach.
Sorry. Can I just ask you?
Right.
How do you pronounce his name so I get it right?
D'Amato?
Is it it's not D'Amato? Because it's got a D apostrophe A-M.
D'Amato.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
So you have Al Pacino as Tony D'Amato. Is it Tony D'Amato? It doesn't matter. Okay.
It is Tony D'Amato.
Okay. As a coach for a winning Miami Sharks team. Now, the owner was a close friend of his, and, he's obviously older in his years, but the owner passed, left the team with his daughter, who is acting like, I don't know, just a very sharp.
You can say it, a cunt.
Yeah. best way to describe it.
Sorry, I'm not mincing words.
No, I know.
She rules with an iron fist. It's not Drew Barrymore.
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz.
Yep, playing the daughter. What was her name again?
Christina Pagliacci.
Pagliacci. Yeah, so
Pagliacci.
you have Rooney, who is Dennis Quaid, who gets injured, and this is like 3 games left of the regular season. They bring in the backup. Backup wasn't doing dick, and then you got Jamie Foxx as Willie Beeman, who comes in, shows up, operates similar like to a Michael Vick, if you will, to an extent, but then his meteoric rise over a period of 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Like 4 or 5, yeah.
Okay, like 3. Okay, 3
So
to 4
we'll
weeks.
call it a month.
Let's say the entire story takes place within, I would say,
Within
6
a month
weeks,
or so,
6
yeah.
weeks.
Meteoric rise, just over this small time frame, and then it's kind of coming to terms. They lose eventually. They win one of the playoff berths, but they lose the divisional title in the next game. But regardless, you have D'Amato, who basically was told, you got this year only to get a win, and we're going to renegotiate your contract. Okay, we're going to cut you. And the owner, this total bitch, she didn't give a shit about their health. You have James Wood, who was a very shady doctor who allowed players to get ample drugs, any type of, he looked the other way on different injuries. So it's just a crazy insight to what 90s football, I'd imagine, is.
Yeah, let me just also kind of interject that this type of football is, if anybody ever played, not the older Blitz, but this is the newer age Blitz, like Blitz 2000, I think is what it was called.
Like Blitz the League?
Blitz the League, there you go. That's more of it. That game was you can either have your injured player go 2 plays and you inject him with steroids, or he can be out for 3 weeks, broken bones and all this shit, crazy shit, playing through injuries. It's just the wild, wild west of fucking football.
I would say it's, it's obviously stylized, but I think a lot of it's pretty realistic. The doing drugs and whatever you have to do to get on the field, and the women and the lifestyle. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it kind of reminded me of the ESPN show Playmakers.
Yes, definitely so.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
Which is kind of
Good
a fictional league, basically the NFL, where it's showing one team and all the players' lives and all the shit they have to do on and off the field to compete, or what happens. There's drug use and things like that. It reminded me of that, which I really enjoyed.
And I'll definitely also add on that in the city of Miami, where I've been told, I haven't been to Miami, but Miami is a party fucking destination.
It is a party city.
I could see them doing this type of shit. They were throwing fucking huge
house
parties at
party
mansions
at LTs,
and
yeah.
fucking galas and shit like that. Is done up real big. So I believe that aspect of it in terms of the realness, but you also have to realize the way in which the injuries are kind of portrayed in this are a little bit kind of fictionalized, a little bit more than the guy's got a possible life-ending injury if he gets another hit, and they're finding a way to get him on the field. That shit to me just doesn't.
I don't think it's that crazy.
I think that happens. Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think that would.
Maybe not
happened.
today. But maybe let's say even 10, 15 years ago, maybe I think that it could have been. Yeah,
why
dude.
do you shake your head? We have guys that literally
life-threatening injury for your spinal cord. I don't think you're able to get the clearance.
Yeah, but I
that's
think
not what it is.
Well, first of all,
at all
in the movie, they said Shark, you got to sign a waiver, which he did.
Hold on, Junior Seau. Hold on, you're saying during the 90s. No, hold on. Let me at least make my point before you say this. I think that definitely in the late 90s, early 2000s, but mid to late 90s, football is football. You take pain meds if you need to get through different things. But Junior Seau has gotten a ton of concussions, a lot of different issues, and obviously we know his demise, and that was due to the fact that he had this constant brain injury. And the reality is, I think brain or spinal or other injuries were waved off. I think they James Wood it, the entire time.
Again, you're just shifting into a different point of. I'm talking about life-threatening injuries. Junior Seau did not have a life-threatening injury. He had a concussion problem. And
when your brain starts turning to jelly, that's a life-threatening injury.
No, it's not, Bobby. Fucking compare it to what Luther the Shark LeVay goes through in this movie. You get another hit, you will die. That is called life-threatening. Junior Seau was not life-threatening. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Okay, fine.
I was interject for both of you guys.
I will fucking
referee here.
chop
One
somebody.
thing he said, if you overhit, you could die, not you will. It's a chance.
Probability.
It's,
Right.
and also to play devil's advocate, they said they weren't going to play him, and he said, "Coach, I need this. I gave you 13 years. You can give me one game." And he said,
He had some bonuses,
"Sign a
yeah.
waiver."
Yep.
And then okay, like I'm sure, like again, I don't know about today that would happen, but again, I would say maybe at least in the early 2000 to mid 2000s, I could see this.
I think it's more likely, but there had to have been enough checks and balances. I'm talking like 70s. I believe that.
I mean, also to this
70s, they don't have imaging. They don't have the shit to really diagnose that stuff. But in the 90s, or early 2000s, I think they would definitely have this stuff to go, this is clear right here. This is a problem. And I agree with what you're saying. And I agree like that it was not one hit and you will die. But like there is a chance of doing that. You sustain such a traumatic injury at that point because you have broken vertebrae.
So your neck broke, but it never healed right or whatever. Yeah, basically.
Okay. Sorry to just jump in on that, but let's hone it back in. Bobby, what you got? What's in the first category up?
I just want to go over the star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Who was like? Could someone just run me the IMDb on this because we have the likes of.
Let me
ahead,
just
rocket. Yeah.
Al Pacino, Dennis Quaid, Cameron Diaz, James Woods, Jamie Foxx, LL Cool J, Matthew Modine, Jim Brown, Lawrence Taylor, Bill Bellamy. Then you get into Aaron Eckhart, Elizabeth Berkley, John C. McGinley,
Lauren Holly.
Dwayne Martin was actually
Dwayne Martin was in
Lauren
there.
Holly, Terrell
Dick
Owens
Butkus.
had a Dick Butkus had a.
Well, a bunch of NFLs. Johnny Unitas, Dick Butkus. I think.
Who does Johnny Unitas play?
The coach at the end, the guy in the other Dallas coach.
No
That was
shit.
Johnny Unitas.
I did not know that.
Ricky Waters in it. T.O.'s in it. Obviously, LT's in it.
Yeah, what a fun movie! Bringing in all those heavy names into a sports, based movie.
Jim Brown is
Jim
the
Brown is
defensive coordinator. He's a great job.
Dude, he looks like he could put on a helmet and go right back in.
Absolutely.
He's
I mean,
yoked.
all those 10, 12 people that we mentioned, I mean, they're heavy hitters. These are not like, oh, they had a good run here or a good movie or two. Like, they definitely had extended careers in Hollywood. I do want to mention, so like Cameron Diaz is a badass. I think that's even like better. Like she's just as good as being like the smiley, bubbly person as
It
being
shows some depth to her
a
acting,
real bitch in this movie. To like, hey, I got to run a franchise, and she's cutthroat and like telling Pacino, hey, if you don't win here, I don't know what your future is going to look
Well,
like.
it's definitely prime time for Cameron Diaz in '99. I think she's at this time too. Was
coming off the mask.
Well, you
and
get
some
the
of other
mask,
ones.
My Best Friend's Wedding, obviously Something About Mary. But
Something About Mary.
This is her chance to do more dramatic. She did this, and I think she did like Being John Malkovich, Gangs of New York. So at this time, she was kind of experimenting with these roles, and this is a good fit, I think.
I think you also have to mention, though, with this film is not just like a simple, like, this is a football action movie. Like, kind of Friday Night Lights was like trying to be dramatic, but like this one is like a straight up, in my mind, it's like a drama action. Like, I don't know if you can count football as like action, like you can, but like I think it's trying to really fit 2 hours 40 minutes, 2 hours 30 minutes probably runtime.
Yeah, for being
it's like a real deal film.
There's a lot to fit in 2 hours and 40 minutes. I mean, it is long, but there's even stuff that they probably honestly could add more of for certain things or characters. Obviously, it's already long enough, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot to cram in there.
Right. I real quick, we'll just say Willie Beeman and Al Pacino and Cameron Diaz are the main, let's call it trifecta. Who's your favorite subsidiary or, not star actor? Who really shined for you guys on the screen?
I'll go with James Woods as the doctor. Harvey Mandrake, I believe is his name.
Yeah, that's correct.
He's really good. It's just like like you said, the shady doctor. He works with Cameron Diaz to like hide the results of x-rays or tests from Coach D'Amato or the other people on the team or the, whatever. He kind of works his magic or,
Manipulates results.
Manipulates the system, if you will, or whatever. And James Woods is always just great at playing an asshole, like in Casino or this.
Very
or
model
Hercules.
for him. Very model.
He does a great job, especially when he's a supporting actor.
Hercules.
Yep.
Yeah, I also have James Wood down. Woods. I also have John C. McGinley.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Could have
As the
definitely
reporter.
given him more to chew on. And then Jim Brown. Like I was telling Bobby before the podcast was rolling, is like, I believe him wholeheartedly. He knows the game of football because we know that he played for the Browns. But in terms of like what he brings to the table, I absolutely believe him. And his fucking name in this character
Montezuma
Monroe.
Monroe, yeah.
I mean, that Tony D'Amato. I mean,
You could have just stuck with his real name. I mean, that would have been cool.
I'm just saying these are great. These are just great character names. I had to mention it.
My favorite was LL Cool J. I think that his presence. Okay, I guess.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Here, but
Go
I
ahead.
thought his presence and his I would say his role on the team was paramount to what you would expect in a team. Like, hey, I'm the star player. You playing me a lot, and now I'm becoming a second thought.
He was all about his money.
Yeah.
I get that he was all about his money, but the
Don't
man
fuck with my
performed
bag.
too. He's like, I'm here to play. I'm here to get touchdowns. I want to get
Well,
my.
They did at that
I
scene-
also kind of posed the question though. Did he? Because he fumbles on a fucking crucial play. Tony D'Amato's calling his number in the very first game. He fumbles. Other games, like
I liked his involvement, especially when Willie got too big for himself and ended up sticking him in or punching him in the face, and then he got his ass like lit up because you punch your bigger running back in the face and he doesn't go down. Oh, good luck, brother.
I think as an actor, as a performance, LL Cool J did well, but as his character, if we're speaking his character, I think he was kind of selfish, like player. But it works well with the movie. It's like. Definitely, you would see that on teams where it's like, I need to get my 2,000 yards. I need to get my money. Like, It makes sense.
My only criticism is just simply the fact that with the cast that they had, I feel like there's a couple guys, like, again, the guys that we mentioned, like, James Woods kind of played, like, to the extent of what his character was, right?
Okay.
The whole arc of it, I get that. But John C. McGinley, Jim Brown, fucking LL Cool J, these guys, like, they kind of, to me, didn't give them enough for me to really get invested. Give me one more scene with each of those guys.
Yeah.
But again, it's 2 hours, 30 minutes, and I feel like, as you said, they crammed in a lot, so it's kind of tough.
That's what I was kind of, I agree with you. I was kind of getting at that before where it's like, really, when I was watching the movie, you could, like, any of these characters, you could make a movie about them. Like, we had the category later.
Right.
LT easily.
Spinoff, whatever. Any of these movies can focus on.
Let's just dip down that lane real
like
quick.
You could focus, Like, you could focus on the John C. McGinley character as the writer and the TV guy. You could focus on LT as the concussion weary or
his earlier years when
Dennis
he was coming
Quaid
up,
as the quarterback who's going through a change in his life and he's losing his job. Like, any of the angles are good, I think. Like, they're really, like, any of them could have been a good spin-off, I think.
Yeah, I would go if I had a spin-off. It would just be, and selfishly, I've thought about this for a long time of, like, it's really not specific to this movie, but any movie where, like, give me, like, a long-running, not series, like, because I'm not a huge fan of the series in this, but, like, I want to see another, like, movie where, like, Al Pacino's on the other team now.
I agree.
And now you have a brand new head coach coming in. You see how the Sharks do versus this.
I agree.
You get other exposition on other teams and shit like that.
Yeah.
So just
like
keep
a limited series type of thing, just a few.
But like this is the thing is that limited series you can get more content, more details, and all this shit. I'm only almost thinking of like a movie that goes through the entire season. Like, and this is 2 hours and 30 minutes. You could pack in a full season of shit. Like, to me, they really went through some of these games where, like, they really, like, cut out a lot of stuff. Like, they were just doing, like, oh, here's the offense for a little bit of it. Like, they could do it. It's not going to be complete or anything like that, but I'm just saying, it's like, selfishly, I want to see the whole picture. I want to see how does the playoffs matter? How does this team get into this?
I agree.
And just focus on one or two players. Don't try and get in 15 people to try and get their whole story.
It's like I was kind of saying, like, it would be like I generally do say, like, it would definitely be better as a show, like Playmakers. Like, it'd be like Any Given Sunday on HBO, on Max, and like you could have it, the next season we could see Willie Beeman with Coach D, and then
where did he go again?
Aztecs, the expansion team in New Mexico.
Okay.
We could see how Aaron Crozier does with Miami or whatever. It'd be cool, but like, fortunately it is what it is. It's just a movie and we don't get to see that.
All right, Bobby, you got any spin-offs, prequels, sequels?
I wanted to get LT's earlier years.
Oh,
I mean, I think he got
dude.
a ring probably with
Coach D'Amato.
with the coach.
They said they won the ring, I think like 4 years earlier or something.
So he definitely was part of the team at that point. But
That'd
be
be
my
dope.
spin-off. Now, one thing I know Woj is I'm gonna let him open up on this. The music, the scores.
Hold on a minute. Let's button stuff up. I'm right here up in the brain here. Let's go back to cast. Let's finish that out.
I thought we did.
No, we didn't. because I got more shit to say.
All right, here we go. Go back.
Sorry, we were taking
Rewind.
a detour. We were taking a quick detour to the fucking, that one point. But all I got to mention, dude. Okay, Mark Robert Ellis, who's also the coach in the Replacements, he's like the offensive coordinator or whatever. Just had to mention that out.
Well, he's like, I think he's like a movie coordinator, sports coordinator. So he's in a bunch of those
that
movies.
guy.
Well, his job is like he makes sure the plays look good or not good.
Right.
Like that's his job, and he also just happens to get a role in the movie a lot of times.
Right. I just wanted to say they could have got better commentators. I don't know who the fuck those guys
Oliver
were.
Stone was the one guy. He's the director of the movie.
Okay, Oliver Stone.
He put himself in the movie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
To me, it wasn't great.
They had Barry Switzer in the final game with
Barry
Oliver
Switzer,
Stone.
that's right. I could have gone a little bit
That's
more
a good
from
point.
them.
Yeah, it's kind of a missed opportunity there.
I do need more Bill Bellamy as.
Are we doing picky Nits now, or are we just
no,
Sampson.
he's
These
just
are
doing
I got
character, some thoughts.
some
Okay,
thoughts
yeah.
on the cast.
Actor.
All right. No, apologies. I just didn't know what direction.
Yeah, no, you're all good. And then the last thing is just Terry Tate. We were talking about office
linebacker.
He's one of the guys, like not a player, but just kind of
he's
like a
like
coach.
panned over. That's
Maybe
it.
like a strength. What's it called?
Strength and conditioning.
Strength and
Yeah.
conditioning coordinator, something like that. Sorry.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely think we could have used more of him. I think definitely maybe a little more Dennis Quaid too. I think would have been nice. But again, we talked so much of a movie.
Dude, yeah,
No.
Rooney's wife or Quaid's wife, that pissed me off watching
She's
that scene.
She's a real bitch.
Yeah, dude, her and Cameron Diaz could get on a boat and just go sink. You
Okay.
know?
Sorry, Bobby. Now go into what you were going to
I
get
know.
into next.
Running it right back to you. What? I guess what was your favorite score? Favorite song? Favorite? I guess scene that maybe involved a song. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have just a couple that I threw out there. Hey, the pump up song. Na, 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 hey, na, na, na.
yeah.
I don't know what it's called. Whatever it takes. I don't know. Maybe that was one of the more grunge songs, like pre-game stuff like that. DMX, and we were saying this, like they get the one song.
They get away exactly.
I had that too.
Unfiltered, let's just say it that way. And then Casey and I think it's Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Yeah.
That's the way I like it.
No, that's not the Casey and the Sunshine.
I don't know
Is
if
it?
that song was in there. Was it?
That's the way. I like it.
I don't remember that song being in there.
It was. Either way, go ahead, Ryan. But I'll just
it's
have one
definitely
final
it's
point.
100% the DMX song, which is my blah. I'll let you fill in the blank for
Yeah.
yourselves. Where Willie starts to figure out how to play football, and that song is just perfectly mixed in with him just slanging dimes, running the ball, like the whole highlight package. It really works well. I love the "Use Me Up" from Bill Withers when Cap's playing in the Dallas game at the end, because it's kind of like saying how they're using him up, like at the end of his career, he's at the end, like they don't.
You know what? I didn't make that connection. That's a good ad.
Also, the Willie Beeman song, just the made up song that I'm Willie Beeman, I'm steaming. That whole thing is really great. I love all
And
those.
Jamie Foxx also did another song for the soundtrack as well.
Any given Sunday.
Right.
Oh man, no, thank you for that. Like I said, yeah, that whole call it a montage. That was perfect roll in. But they had a lot of good scores.
Yeah,
they had a
fuck
lot of
you
good
guys.
music.
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
It was
you
Casey,
bitches.
all right.
I also they have I think when Tony's in the bar and he picks up Elizabeth Berkley, who's like the prostitute.
She's looking great too.
looking really great. I think they're playing.
I feel bad that her career didn't blossom, but you know.
When We're Grooving Together from Smokey Robinson.
Nice.
Maybe the Miracles and Smokey Robinson.
Yeah, and I'll just mention though, the one comment I definitely had about this soundtrack though is like this is easily the longest soundtrack that I have seen. Like, because when you go to IMDb, it gives you what is credited in the song. So it may not be a song that you heard fully, but like they either did it in the background or whatever. There's easily 40 songs or something like that. Like I'm still scrolling through all the songs that were fucking used. So it's just one of the longest soundtracks that I've ever seen. Now on the actual soundtrack, like Any Given Sunday CD pressing, I'm sure they only included like 10 to 15.
Yeah.
But, I'm just saying it's such a crazy amount of songs. Done on the soundtrack. Bobby, next one, moving on.
One thing that got me, and we're going to go into scenes here, but one thing specifically that we grew up with, which made me laugh, was they're at a charity auction or charity event, and the foundation or the charity of their choice was Dare.
Oh, yeah.
So that just made me smile. That made me laugh. And then within 5 minutes of, kind of offering him the check, there's, you got LL Cool J doing blow with his friend in the bathroom, banging like strippers. So I was just like.
And DARE stands for what? Drug abuse.
Drug awareness.
Something
education or something.
Resistance education.
Resistance, yeah, something like that. And every time when we had those pencils, it said, do not do drugs.
Dude, I had a bunch of shirts.
And then as soon as you you ground down your pencil, it just said do drugs.
Yeah.
I remember that from like 6th grade. All right, so favorite scenes. What are your favorite scenes?
I'll throw out a couple and then I'll flip it over to Ryan. I like it's an interesting Lombardi quote to begin the movie. I kind of like that. It's interesting. It doesn't happen all the time. The football scenes, I'll say it's love-hate because some of them were really, I think, done crazy. There's a couple scenes where the camera's moving a lot of shaky, like it's meant to be that way. But to me, I'm just like, I don't know if it's like my favorite thing. Some of them, the slow-mos and
I like some of the camera techniques, and it showed some intensity.
Talked about like
lighting.
the helicopter of Rooney.
For that tutty.
For the touchdown, and the Willie Beeman front flip touchdown. Like these are cool that they did, but like some of them is and also the blurred vision at times. I'm like, to me, I'm like it can work, but it doesn't work all the time.
I enjoyed that when they brought that in.
I think it works too. I was gonna say, I think that it's showing like the intensity and the speed of the game and how fast you got to think and react, or maybe how nervous he is, depending on what scene we're talking about. But I think it makes it kind of cool. It makes it unique to its own thing for this movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay. I also have the drunk D'Amato saying he ends up calling his wife, and like it's actually like again it's like because Pacino's such a great actor.
It makes him human, I guess.
But I'm just saying it's like it's the exposition that we need to like get the interest in the character of like, oh, he literally basically abandoned his wife and kids because of coaching. They divorced him, moved away, all this bullshit. So it shows his human side and stuff like that. What do you got, Ryan?
Well, I would say I love all the game scenes, the in-game scenes. Specifically, I will go with I like the first or the second game. The first one, Willie comes in off the bench and he's like throwing up and he's messing up and everything's going too fast for him. They end up coming back but losing in a close one. And the second game where he comes in again, but he figures it out, as we talked about with the DMX song. I think that works really well.
Mm-hmm.
You got the game after that, he does another good game. And then you got the rain game, which is like a monsoon, and they refuse to play for him anymore because he's been acting selfish and arrogant and talking shit about him and the team and the defense and everything, getting a full head. And then, of course, I mean, you have to mention the Al Pacino speech in the final playoff game, pregame speech. It's one of the best coaching speeches in probably all sports movies. Al Pacino, one of the best to ever do it. It's just really, really great casting of Al Pacino. Really holds the movie together. I mean, not that it couldn't work without him, but I just think he brings it up a level when he's the coach. It's very believable, and he brings a lot of gravitas to the role, I think.
Again.
Well said. No, because he does have a genuine feel of being a coach. Like, he's quiet in different parts. He tries to pull someone away and talk to him, like, privately, the owner. It was cool to see his ups and downs, him yelling at the ref. But one of my favorite scenes, I guess two of them, is the cutting Willie Beeman's SUV in half, because he was talking mad shit. He was just like, yo, it's me out there. It's always been me. It's like this guy, a huge head for 3 or 4 games of doing okay.
Yeah.
Granted, he had a flair of, different types of, athleticism. But my favorite one was his interaction with his girlfriend after the charity, or in the hotel room at the charity event. He just goes off on her because, she's starting to get nervous because all these other girls are putting thoughts in her head like, oh, you're just the girlfriend.
Hey, he's like, fuck is wrong with you?
So that whole
you
dialogue.
Big-ass bitch.
I also love the scene where...
I'll call your mom.
Sorry, before you get to your next scene, I just want to mention, though, they could have easily, to a replacement, whatever the fuck it is, recasting couch, I could have seen somebody else be Willie Beeman's girl.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Could have given somebody else a little bit.
Like, she said she was with him,
the other chick was fine, but she wasn't great.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Ryan.
I love the scene where Tony invites Willie Beeman over for jambalaya at his house.
Yeah.
And he brings him flowers because LT told him to. And by the end of it, Jamie Foxx does his Al Pacino impression to him. He's like, "You didn't care about me till you needed me," and then it's all pretend you're in the ghetto and you're throwing the ball. And he does
Hold
on.
he does a pretty good impression of Al Pacino. I thought it was good.
But I was like, you're not scoring points talking.
You're gonna go out there and play like you're in the hood, like Mama's ringing the dinner bell.
Yeah, all you gotta do is go to the Buick, turn left.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like is towards the end of that conversation, and we'll get into our picky nits here. It's like, and then you end up cursing out your coach and explaining to him like, "Yo, I'm 10 times whatever. You could put me on." Like, you're making your I guess stock less every time you're not out there. So it's like, why you bad mouthing him? So I guess let's roll it into picky nits. No
Scenes.
Can
man.
We're done with the scenes.
No, we're not.
Let me
man.
Willie Beam in this. We're done with the scenes.
No, you're not, man.
Fine.
Because I got shit.
Woj, OT, go.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well, on the third scene, it opened up to
no, but
Miami
the football scenes, man. The blindside hit on Willie Beeman, like he got fucking
his helmet came off.
crunched in the back.
That was true.
They got a quick thing of LT with his face dipped in the sand, and it's
that
just
was great.
outlined.
The beach scene.
It's just some funny shit, and then I just had the other. The exchanges with them. I mean, again, Al Pacino is one of the best, and any scene that he's in with other people, giving some real shit, whether it's Jim Brown or fucking Cameron Diaz or Willie Beeman.
I mean, the James Woods one, him
James
where he
Woods
throws
is
him off the
great.
team. He's like, "Get off my field," or whatever.
They just have some good shit. Sorry, man. I just I got to do it to the fullest extent because we're not going to do it.
I was just saying.
two.
I would say too that I love the ending after the game with the press conference with Coach D and how he's like you think he's gonna retire, but then he ends up flipping it, and he's like, "Actually, I got the job with the expansion team. I'm the head coach and the GM, but I just signed Willie Beeman. Go fuck yourself, Christina."
That was awesome. What a great way to finish that. That was excellent. And like I said, we always talk about endings, but that was one that if you just saw this movie, it would have came out of nowhere, right? Like you weren't expecting that.
No, it was a great ending.
So quotes.
Where'd you like to go now? About quotes?
Let's go quotes. Yeah, I know we're gonna need a lot of time for picky nets. That's all. But quotes.
Do we want to?
No, let's do quotes.
Do we want to do the whole Tony Tomato's speech? No.
I
have it written
outside of the few inches speech. Let's.
But Tony Tomato's got a couple. If you're gonna make mistakes, make them big. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna eat your lunch for that. Just don't fuck around like pussies at a tea party. Like he's got the real coach demeanor down. Like you don't fucking do whatever, but I'm gonna fucking wreck you, dude.
Let's see. I like when he right before the final play of the final playoff game, just to like kind of ease the tension. He's like, "There's something I need to ask you. Remember that time you came over to my place? Did you not like the jambalaya?" And then Willie's like, "It was the worst shit I ever tasted in my life. Why do you think I've been throwing up every week?" Because he throws up every game or whatever. I thought that was funny.
Willie Beeman lines up under the wrong lineman, and the lineman goes, "Get your hands out of my ass, man."
The tackle, yeah. He's like, "The fuck are you doing?"
The one guy's like, "Shibarini's down," and then James Woods is like, "Shibarini? What, did he fall off the bench?"
Here's Tony D'Amato's like, "Here's what we're gonna do on defense. We got to do something on defense." It's just like you do a lot of his quotes in the locker room in the first part of the movie. They were totally like, just you could tell like it seemed to him like just riffing kind of, which is like, all right, we got to do that. Okay, defense over here. We got to do something.
Maybe that's how they played it. Maybe they didn't really give him a script, but more of like, hey, you got to kind of mention like A and B, but figure out how you want to get
there. I could definitely see that.
When Cap comes in the one game back to the huddle, he's like, "How's that disc you're spinning, baby?" And he's like, "It's still spinning like your favorite CD." I thought that was pretty funny.
There's a guy.
There was one where the daughter was like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to get a ring and like make a necklace out of it." He's like, "You gotta earn one.
Gotta win one first.
Gotta win one." And he keeps he repeated it one more time. He looked at her and I was like, "Oh my god, yes."
He's like, "Just win it."
Yeah.
So you got Andrew Bynarski who plays Patrick Madman Kelly.
That guy.
And he fucking he walks up at the gala event, the party, and he walks up to this like old ass lady and he's like, "Are you married?" She's like, "Between marriages at the moment." He's like, "What do you do for dick?"
You're right. Oh my god. There's a lot of raunchy shit.
This is rated R.
Shark LaVey's like, Coach, calm down. You're going to have a stroke. And he's like, I don't get strokes, motherfucker. I give them.
I like James Wood. Like they're talking Woods. They're talking about the all this shit about the injuries. Like, okay, is Cap good? Is LeVar bad or whatever? And he's like, look, I'm not a total prick, but
not a total prick. Yeah, he has some issues.
I got dude. I just caught this one. Murphy's Law in effect when they are down like they're down to that rain game. One that's like it hits hard. I don't know why, but it's like, today I'm ashamed to be your coach.
Yeah,
like you're an
that
embarrassment.
Hit hard, yeah,
you're a fucking embarrassment.
One of the quotes by Willie, which I was just like, damn, all right, he's calling this out at a party. He's like, oh, you guys are just, this isn't a team. I just see a bunch of, high-paid.
Individuals.
Individual high-paid, just out doing their thing, living in the white man's world, which I was just like, you throwing a lot of shade going into someone else's party that you're, starting to get some attention, some focus on, and then you're shitting on everyone. So his attitude, man, pissed me off. Would you have a glimpse of doing well? A glimpse. That's the best way to describe it.
I got one last one here. When Willie walks into the bathroom when he sees his old ex-girlfriend, he goes, oh, my God, it's Barbara Bush. Where you been all my life? Looking good, too. Some random white lady. Fucking
that was fucking good. There's a lot of good like one-liners that might not be notable quotes, but a lot of good, fun, raunchy humor. Definitely a football locker room type of shit.
I like it. I think they did that very well in this movie. I'm good on quotes.
All right, let's dude, this is going to be a 10-minute segment by itself, so picky Nits. I want Ryan to start, and then we'll...
All right.
I'm just bounce around.
Motor through them.
Bounce around.
I didn't like how they didn't have any away jerseys for the Sharks. They wore the black ones the whole time, and I'm pretty sure they had at least one away game. I think.
Yeah, they were. New York was away.
The Dallas uniforms are ugly and impractical. The last team they play with the thing on the front.
Crusades,
the Dallas Knights.
There's no number.
No, that's LA, I think.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no
LA Knights. Whatever.
There's no. There's this Dallas Knights. I think.
Dallas Knights.
There's no numbers on the front. They got like a cross thing. It looks really weird. Plus, and their field in the middle, they have like basically like an end zone in the midfield. It looks,
their logo lasts the
between
entire
the 40
length
and the 40.
Width of
their
the field.
logo.
I thought for the movie in general, sometimes it can be a little too artistic with like stuff that kind of blends in like old football highlights of like the 20s and the 40s or whatever with like the shots of the other stuff. So
I get you.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They have like they went
stitched
Ben-Hur.
in a little bit of
Ben-Hur, yeah, that didn't really work for me. And then we kind of just
it works at times. When Willie is talking with D'Amato, it tends to work a little bit because they're talking about history, and he's like, I don't want to be another ghost on the field and all that shit. That's when it works. The other times I agree with you, it doesn't work. It's like Ben-Hur mixed with this, mixed with this. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
And then the biggest thing we've touched on kind of a little bit, Bobby's brought up, I think I might have brought it up too, is like, Willie only played in 5 games. This is including the playoff game, which he came in and won, that we saw at the end. They should have had him play more games throughout the season to make his... Like, because this is like, if this happened in real life, this would be like right now, if Tyler Huntley just got signed to the Dolphins, right? He comes in and has like 3 good games. Is he going to be like the star of the NFL?
Is he going to be getting a fucking record
I highly
deal?
doubt it. No.
I don't know.
It's going to be nice, but you got to do more than a month's worth of games, especially when you went 2-2. It's not like you won every game and you dominate. I mean, the couple games, yes.
Right. They give, Bobby mentioned that too. They give his rise, like he gets real
high,
egotistical after winning 2 games, losing 2 games. Like, what are we doing?
So for me, I would have had like Cap maybe get hurt in the first game or the second game or something like that, and then Willie Beeman has to play like most of the season, and that way too, when Cap's going to come back, it's like, hey, I've shown you that I've won this many games. I took us to the playoffs.
Right.
Now you're going to bench me, and it makes it just more drama filled, and just I think it adds to it overall.
One way to maybe point to his meteoric rise, I'm using that twice, but it really was the fact that the owner, and this is a picky Nit scene of me, she walks into the locker room after the game.
During the halftime.
During the halftime, but also like I think after a regular game, and like walks over to Willie Beeman, who's like wearing a jock strap that no offense, you don't wear jock straps like that. And she's just
Well, there's
putting herself out there. I'm like,
dude, there was one guy who was naked.
yeah,
and-
cock out, and
yeah.
she's shaking his hand. Like, that doesn't. What the fuck are we doing?
so yeah,
here?
there's a lot of different like male nudity scenes too that I could have done without.
I mean, it's a hard R movie for sure.
No, but I thought that was forced, where it's like she's going in there like, oh, Willie, look at you out there. Like, I was like, yeah, they could have cut down the scene a little bit. Or
I ain't gonna mince words here, but you do it for me.
Yeah,
right. No, so it was just
Place.
that for me was a little off, as well as the whole race card thing. You know,
There's a lot of Willie Beeman's whole interview with John C. McGinley is all about like, there's how many 70% of African Americans in the league, how many coaches, how many owners.
He wasn't wrong back. I mean, he still wasn't.
All I'm saying though is that they made the whole thing about Willie and the reason why he's like he's been doing the same shit, and then he doubles down on it when he's talking with D'Amato about like, oh, you're talking about the hood and my grandma, mama's ringing the dinner bell. It's like,
see, I don't like that either. So like both sides of the coin there, I don't like that either. But his whole his whole perspective, his whole like thing of playing the race card, and then saying, oh yeah, we're not about a team, and he's like, he learned real quick. He was like, defense, and then as soon as you diss your offensive line, good luck. I just I don't know where he got his head. That's all.
I think the thing he said though was probably true for a lot of players like in real life back then, where he was talking to the coach and he's like, yeah, I dropped in the draft because I hurt my shoulder because the coach had me playing defensive back when I'm a quarterback, and because he didn't know what to do with me. A lot of times back then they were like, oh, this guy's too athletic to be quarterback, or he's not smart enough for whatever, just because he's because he's not a white guy, which is stupid. Like, if you're a good player, you're a good player. Like whatever. Like you see what you got in him, like right. But like I think that did happen a lot back in the day, where it's like, oh, this guy was a quarterback in college. Now when he comes to the NFL, we're gonna make him a running back or a receiver or
so that does happen.
Whereas nowadays they like are looking for the athletic quarterback, the running quarterback. Like it's a big deal, like in a more of a thing that people want on their team, I would think.
I do like his story arc though, because eventually he does realize, like, all right, and especially the Rooney comment or dialogue. He's like, they'll know you're, he's like, you've had a few good wins. He's like, they'll know who you are, what type of person you are, is when you're, when you're going through the bad times, and see how you fucking handle it as a quarterback. I'm like, that's real.
No, for sure. There was a lot of true things in the movie. I think that rang true to like real life and like dynamics with teammates and. Just shit like that, for sure.
Yeah, I'll go with just a couple just quick hitters here. There's an extremely late hit on Beeman's first play on a handoff. He just gets fucking walloped, like, no joke, like 20. After Julius, James Washington, whoever LL Cool J's character is, goes down. Like, he gets fucking smacked in the fucking chest with a guy. There's a shitload of continuity errors just all over the fucking place in terms of why did these guys, I just don't understand why they're like, again, with the Knights logo and stuff like that, it makes it look like an end zone. But then there's other plays of like the Willie Beeman's flip forward, like they're showing other views of it and shit like that. There's really some weird shit. Like there's a priest in the locker room that's like their priest. Like you could hear him saying like, we're 0-4 now, gentlemen.
I think they have
we
that.
We need to pray.
That's normal.
Not a priest on fucking
they have, even for high school teams they have that where it's like our local.
I don't think it would be unheard of. That's all. I'm gonna say.
Okay. I guess that's
like
not
a team
that crazy.
chapel or something. I don't think that. Yeah.
Okay, I get that. The other thing I would say is Beeman's got a tramp stamp.
He complained for that one.
Beeman's got a tramp stamp.
Yeah, he does.
I didn't notice that.
That's just out there. He is definitely a tramp stamp. Washington, the running back, his outfits are trash. I mean, he looks like a fucking clown. Like
LL Cool J.
There's no fashion there. You look like a fucking.
But it's the late '90s. I mean, it's.
But I think that was his idea. They were trying to peacock
He's
him.
He's trying to do like outlandish shit, but he looks like a fucking dummy. That's just my take.
I think that shit was more in back then.
Oh, good. I don't think anybody else would have started Beeman in the playoffs if you got Cap coming back. He's okay to play. I'm going Cap.
Yeah,
Willie Beeman only went 2-2 or 2-3 or whatever the fuck.
I think that
Going Cap.
I think that if Willie didn't have the issues with the other teammates, like they gave up for him that rain game, I would play Willie. But knowing that he has those issues, then maybe you go Cap. I don't know. I mean, Willie's clearly the more talented player at this point in his career than Cap. So I guess a lot depends on that, and then Cap's just in general health and confidence. Like if he would have come to me before the game like he did Al Pacino and be like, "Oh, just play the kid," I'd been like, "Oh shit, he doesn't want to play." Like maybe he's not ready. Like Cap's done. So I don't know.
I like though. He's like, hey, you're a warrior out there. Don't worry.
Tony DeMao's
recognize what you've done.
Tony's definitely a player's coach.
Yeah.
Like you can see like the LL Cool J and him. That one scene where he's talking about give me my touches and this and that. Come on,
He's
coach.
changing it,
Those are your plays. I like those plays and blah blah blah. Like so if you're with Tony, like he's got your back for sure. I think.
And that's what I think. That's where I think the authenticity comes in. Is here's a guy who's third string already trying to call and pull different shit. Which I'm a fan of. If you see something, check it off. Run a different play that makes sense. But if you're going in there, man, all right, forget that noise. We're going to do a blah, blah, blah. Dude, there's a reason why he's got a ring. There's a reason why his team has won. It's like sometimes trust the formula. Now, I'm not saying don't go rogue every once in a while, but don't make that your standard. I think that's what he did.
But I think I would say, though, from what they showed us up to that point, Tony D'Amato was like very old school and running they were unpredictable.
Right.
They knew what he was doing every time. And finally, when Willie changed the plays, they were having success and it was working. Now, I don't know how long that's going to keep working. Maybe the league adjusts to that, or maybe he got lucky a couple games. But I think while it's working, you roll with it. But I mean, I understand why the coach would be upset. It makes sense. Like, I don't deny it.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I have all these people I'm paying as part of our team to help give us a competitive advantage.
But
we know that this works.
Maybe they can find more of a middle ground where it's like, hey, okay, I'll stop calling the same conservative plays, but let me call the plays, and then like we'll work together.
To counter that, just real quick, as a real life example, I'm sure Peyton Manning, year 1 through year 4, wasn't like Peyton Manning towards the middle or end of his career, where he basically, hey, go out there, you know what to do.
To me, it's a thing you got to earn.
Yeah, exactly.
Willie Beeman does not earn that.
He hasn't earned shit.
Until you go in. The only other thing I'll just mention real quick is, again, another example of lack of communication between the player and the coaches and the owner and stuff like that, where it's just like the owner is obviously trying to be like, this is what I want. Coach is getting this information going, okay, whatever, and then kind of siding with what's his dick, LT, like, all right, you'll play, sign a waiver, fucking whatever, dude.
Yeah, his blip of morality, I guess, that's all it really was. So
that's all I got, man. I think we're good to rate it now.
Yeah, let's rate it. Go ahead, Woj. You own it, rent it, stream it.
I think Any Given Sunday is absolutely a film in the football genre that you have to own. It's in my mind, it's like one of those top tiers that you just, again, it's like the upper echelon, top 10 football movies that it's a great movie in general. I'm gonna throw out an 8.5 as a rating, right down the middle. What do you got, Ryan?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was telling Woj when we were golfing yesterday, I was watching it and I got through like about half of it. I was watching it kind of in parts. I've only seen it a few times. It's been on TV a lot, but like actually watching it all the way through, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it reminded me of like Playmakers, which is one of my favorite shows back in the day. I loved like the professional aspect of it, the grittiness, the stylized way he filmed it, and Al Pacino's really great in it. He's one of the best actors.
The show,
yeah, and Jamie Foxx does a great job, I think, like a believable quarterback. And they intermix the real life NFL players in well, and they're good enough at acting. LT actually did pretty good. Like he wasn't bad. Like
I just wish, just to that point, I wish LT gave me a little bit more when he was in the coach's office and in the sauna. Give me a little bit more believability there, and I'm totally in on LT.
He didn't like bring the movie down or anything.
No, it just was like I think it could have been better.
Yeah. So I would definitely own it. I do own it. Actually, I let Woj borrow my DVD copy of it, and I got the Blu-ray at home.
Got to make sure I get that back to you.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I am going to give it an 8.8. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. That's like a B+ for me. Maybe like getting, if it's at its best, an A- in there. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
For me, I'm going to go with an 8.9. It doesn't quite hit that 90% marker due to some, like you said, a lot of the picky nits and consistencies. I get the fact that they had to cram in a lot of different relationships, dialogues, personalities, and in what it would equate to 5-6 week time frame.
Right.
It was a lot to be done, so I can understand that. I do own it. Great movie. Like I said, I was really excited with the blend of the real athletes into a film that doesn't look like a clown, at a morgue.
Yeah, there was really, I would say that made me like it. Like, I was surprised going into this. I wasn't sure if I'd like it more than Friday Night Lights. Like, I used to like that movie a lot, but I really enjoyed it more. I think a lot of it too is like we said, like the actors in it are very good, and the performances. It's just they're really, really well, and like it's more entertaining to me to watch them than it was for the previous movie.
Like I said, love seeing Elizabeth Hurley there too, and like I said,
Nope, not
No,
Elizabeth.
Sorry,
Berkeley.
Berkeley. When I say Hurley,
I was like, Elizabeth Hurley's out of shit too.
Vanessa.
wrong. Yeah, my bad.
It's
But
all good.
no, then Pacino, man, Pacino being Pacino. This, like I said, I think put someone else in his shoes. It doesn't have the same.
Yeah, I had read that it was between Elvis or wanted him or De Niro, and I think either one would have been a great choice. I think Pacino was the right choice.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because he kind of turns it up a notch. Like, this is kind of like Pacino in Heat at times, which is fucking awesome. It's arguably like
Heat.
his best role, probably.
We're gonna have to do that one.
Oh, for
soon.
100%. Pacino just knows when to just fucking turn that dial up and just turn it up, turn it on.
It'd be fun. If I was a director, I would have fun filming with this guy because you could just trust what he does, even if he goes off script. I'd be like, all right.
And I would say for both of them, for Pacino and Oliver Stone, this is probably like their last like hurrah of like a big time movie for them. Like, they were in things and did things afterwards, but this is kind of like the top, I think, for the end of them.
Gotcha. All right. Woj, who's got the next?
Woj does.
That is me.
But
And we're done with are we last football one, right?
Yeah.
You know what it is, bitch. It's the replacements. We're doing it.
Yes.
Get ready
Flacco.
Get ready for fucking quotes. It's gonna happen. Just strap in, and it's gonna be a great
We just
time.
got to figure out when we're doing that.
Yeah, so with Bobby leaving, I'm going to just throw it out there. We're going to do the replacements. Again, if it ends up being next week, great. If it ends up being in a couple weeks, great. But either way, this was a great one. The Journeymen Lounge will be back again, probably with a duo episode next week. But fucking football season rages on. Let's fucking do it to it, Lars. For Woj.
Right.
And Bobby.
This is the Journeymen Lounge podcast. Out.
Howdy.